We've got some breaking news as Kristaps' injury update has finally been revealed following that Game 2 exit late in the fourth quarter. It is not looking great for Kristaps Porzingis, and he could be sidelined for Game 3, but as we all know, he wants to die out there and he wants to compete. With the recent update coming out just minutes ago revolving around Kristaps Porzingis' injury status, revolving around Game 3, we're going to be breaking down all of that and more on this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Velez. Before we dive in, before we get into all this news though, if you do enjoy the content, hit that like button. But let's get into the news at hand today. Make sure to grab a snack. And like I mentioned in the introduction, Kristaps Porzingis is injured once again. We all know, we've all seen this story throughout the entire playoffs. He obviously had that calf strain in the first series versus the Miami Heat. And throughout the regular season, he suffered an abundance of injuries here and there, knocking him out 7 to 9 games. With the Celtics needing him and with him showing him being a contributional piece for the offensive and defensive side so far in the finals, this could be very detrimental to the squad. If we want to dive in and look at the news, we can see from looking at this here from the Celtics injury update that the Celtics center Kristaps Porzingis has suffered a torn medial reticulum, allowing dislocation of the posterior tibialis tendon in his left leg at the 3:27 of the third quarter of Game 2. The injury is unrelated to Porzingis' prior right calf injury, and after consultation with numerous specialists regarding this rare injury, his availability for upcoming games will be determined day by day. Now, when you hear that, you might think, Bruce, what are you saying? What does that mean? That doesn't make any sense to me. And honestly, it doesn't make much sense to me either. So we're going to dive in and look at this picture courtesy of Cameron Tabati. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your last name, but he works for the Celtics. He does fantastic coverage over on Celtics Lab. And he showed this screenshot here looking at what Kristaps Porzingis' plantar tear in his right foot, which also led to a dislocation tendon in the same slash foot or ankle. Joe Mazzulla called it a serious injury. And again, this is not great. If you want to look at this image, you guys can kind of see where it would be around in that ankle area. And this is on the same foot that it is the injury with the injury to the calf. Now, if you want to look at this update from Dr. Evan Jeffries on Twitter, I saw Keith Smith, a lot of people reporting this, but an updating clarification of the Porzingis injury. This is a doctor reporting saying essentially he tore the flexor retinaculum, which holds the tibialis posterior in place. This allows the tibialis posterior to sublux, move out of the normal area it's housed. This is a rare injury, and a timetable is up in the air. If he does play, who puts his ankle at further risk? So this is, not the greatest to kind of hear from this report. Obviously, we want to see Kristaps Porzingis, be ready, available, to be able to play with this team. And hearing these reports, it's not looking great. They're saying that it might be damaging. Joe Mazzulla is saying it is a serious injury. But as we all know, Kristaps Porzingis came out and said he's willing to die out there. And we also have some more quotes from Kristaps Porzingis revolving around this injury. If we want to dive in and look at this, you guys can see that Porzingis said that he'll do everything he has to be out there tomorrow and that nothing is going to stop him unless he's told that he's not allowed to play. If you guys do not know, the medical staff is the person that is going to be clearing Kristaps Porzingis if he is good to go. It is not up to KP. It is up to the medical staff. They will determine before the game if he is ready to go or not. But Porzingis is ready to go, and this is the mentality you want to see coming out of your star. Not shying away, wanting to play in the finals, wanting to be that major contribution, has already sat out 2 previous rounds. He wants to help his team contribute. We have some additional Kristaps Porzingis quotes as well, saying it's kind of a random situation going on his injury. I have felt something, and now that I have to deal with it, as we said, yes, it's going to be a day-to-day injury, and I'll see how I am tomorrow. And obviously, I'm going to do everything that I can to be out there tomorrow, and we'll see, kind of, backing that claim up. And then looking at this last one, basically saying that nothing is going to stop him from playing unless he's told he's not allowed to play. That is the only reason that he will not be out there. And once again, like I mentioned, this is key for the Boston Celtics to be hearing these things. Kristaps Porzingis saying that he will die out there, willingly throwing his body out after Game 2, not even really knowing the severity of his injury. But now that he kind of already knows the severity, and he's already coming out and saying if he can play, he's going to throw it all out there. He doesn't want to shy away from this moment. I am ecstatic. This is what I want to hear, and something that I want to see out of Kristaps Porzingis. I know that there's 2 games possibly left because the Celtics have won 2 games, and this series could extend, and you could risk injuring Kristaps Porzingis in that long run. But if he is cleared to play and he wants to play clearly, like we've shown you from these quotes, I think that he should be playing with this team going into game 3. Let me know how you guys think about this whole kind of dilemma. But as you guys know, as you guys kind of here, we do have some more breaking news revolving around this whole entire update, as we can see that Porzingis is officially listed as questionable for game 3, and that is courtesy of Mark D'Amico. The Celtics releasing this at 5:41, roughly around 15 to 20 minutes after I'm recording this, after I grab this image. So this gives us some high hopes, gives us some insight with this team. And Mazzulla had another quote following this from Justin Turpin, who does some fantastic job covering the Boston Celtics for WEEI and has given me some great responses. Has said that he's doing anything and everything he can to be ready for this game tomorrow. Obviously, it's a serious injury, and at the end of the day, our team and the medical team is going to not going to put him in a bad situation. We've taken the decision to play out of his hands. So basically, like I mentioned, kind of went over, it is not in Kristaps Porzingis' hands. Regardless if he wants to play, regardless if he wants to be out there, the medical staff, Joe Mazzulla, this team is going to be in control of what happens to Kristaps Porzingis in game 3. I think he'll warm up. I think we'll get to see him get some possible run. And here's a little bit of a sneak peek looking at Kristaps Porzingis, courtesy of Jared Weiss, walking in the Boston Celtics stadium. I'll give it to you guys right here. But as you can see, he does not look hurt. He does not look injured. He looks like he'll be ready to go. And I'm banking that Kristaps Porzingis is going to be able to play in this game. Now, if the fact the Celtics do have to play without Kristaps Porzingis, it doesn't seem like it will be much of an issue, though. If we look at this from StatMuse, we can see that the Celtics with Kristaps Porzingis have a win percentage of a 76. But without Kristaps Porzingis, they have a win percentage of 86%. So regardless if they have the big man, regardless if they don't, guys like Jayson Tatum, guys like Jaylen Brown, guys like Al Horford, Luke Cornett, Peyton Pritchard, they can step up, be those guys alongside Derrick White and Jrue Holiday, which we saw explode in game 2, alongside the help of guys in Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I do not fear with this Celtics team. They have 5 games possibly left throughout the entire season, and to lose the finals, they would have to go 1-4 in those remaining 5 games. I don't necessarily see that happen. Drop me what you guys think down below, how you guys think this is all going to fold out for the Boston Celtics down below in the comment section. As you know, though, before we head out, we have to get to the comment of the day. So drop down your comments, drop down your thoughts on how you guys feel about this Kristaps Porzingis injury update revolving around the team. He is questionable, like I mentioned, could possibly be ready to go. We're going to be looking at this comment from our guy Mike D, who's one of our loyal supporters here on Celtics Digest. And he says, when we win the chip and raise the banner 18, it will not matter anyway. No one's going to care whether it's the best player or the team who was the alpha or whatever. They're just going to matter trying to make it about it. All that is going to matter is who is going to bring that banner in exactly. This was in revolving around to the next level hate video, talking about everybody slandering Jayson Tatum and comparing him to Jaylen Brown and not giving both of those players the respect on the pedestal that they both deserve. Ultimately, in my eyes, I think it's a little bit disrespectful, but hey, the national media has their narratives. The Boston Celtics media has their own narratives. And obviously, we're going to listen and pay attention to what we want to hear tailored to us. And obviously, does not matter regardless of who performs, who wins that finals MVP. As long as the banner and the championship come to Boston, that's all that matters. But like I mentioned, let me know how you guys feel down below in the comment section. If you enjoyed the content, if you enjoyed the videos, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Would greatly appreciate it. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out and go Boston Celtics.